Well, howdy doody dandy. Have we got some stuff to talk about? If you're new here, hi, my name is Alyssa Simpson. I'm a mindset and manifestation coach, and I'm helping women learn and embody restfully receiving and learning how to become restfully rich, because that is the vibe. And over the past, 2 or 3 months, I have really kept getting hit with this really wild intuitive download that we are collectively seeing the end of a coaching industry that was actually never meant to help support women's hormones, nervous system, essence, all of the things. We're watching the fall of that current model collapse, and not even just with the coaching industry specifically, but honestly all industries across the board are being met with the overwhelming pressure to either change and adapt or just completely collapse altogether. And even for myself as a coach and mentor, like I have been coaching and mentoring through the lens and through the vibe of masculine energy for a long time. Like it is very much so how the first wave of coaches stepped on the scene and really created this industry. It's very masculine based in the sense that there is systems and programs and things that are a part of the coaching industry that emulate masculine energy, not feminine energy. So that is why I truly believe that a lot of people who are being coached by someone who are in the coaching world, they're having a really hard time because it's finally starting to crumble because it was never built on honoring women specifically, their nervous system, their essence, their hormones, all of those things. And even myself, I have worked with clients who always tell me, Alyssa, my old coach, she told me that I had to be doing X, Y, and Z or else I'm not going to see results, or I had to be reaching out and doing this and implementing that. And all of that is a very masculine way of doing things. And that's also a very one size fits all coaching, which if you're new here, that is very against everything that I am. We do not do one size fits all. I really help women tap into their own personal power so that they can start to really, truly, authentically live their dreams out loud. Because here's the thing, we are not all meant to copy and paste one another. We are meant to get different lived wisdom and lived experience through one another and then implement what we decide matches us, right? That's why I'm not the coach for everyone. I know that there are people in the world that I simply cannot coach, and I honor that and I respect that. But in the same breath, there are people in the world who need to be coached by someone who's going to tell them exactly what to do rather than honor their true essence and true being. And I am that coach who honors your true essence and that true being. But when I created Restfully Rich, which is my new coaching program, which is unlike any coaching program you've ever seen or been a part of before, I created it with the intention of doing things very differently. I created it with the intention of doing things from a feminine lens, not a masculine lens. And it's been a little challenging, I will say, because not challenging like a, oh my God, this is hard, but challenging in a really getting my creative juices flowing, because there are no containers out there of like what I'm emulating, because they are all based on the back of masculine energy. They aren't based on the back of feminine flow and nurturing and rest, receive, and like all of these things, right? And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine just this morning, and she was asking me like, how can I be a present mom, a really great business owner, and also prioritize my rest? And the answer that I gave her is you have to stop looking at rest as the way that you've always looked at rest, right? Like you have to stop looking at receiving the way that you've always looked at receiving. You have to kind of get it out of your own box, if you will, and start really getting your wheels turning and thinking of life in different terms, thinking of your reality on different terms. Because what you've been doing, I guarantee you, is through the masculine lens, and you've probably really never had an opportunity to honor your feminine energy. And that is why things are the way they are for you. There's a whole other slew of things that kind of also equal why things are the way they are for you. But truly and honestly, women, we don't exist in a society that is built to honor our hormones, our nervous system, and our true essence. And that's okay. This is not a fuck the patriarchy video. You will not find that here, because That's just not what I'm about. And I truly know in my heart and believe that feminism is a crock of bullshit. It is not meant to empower women. It is even created to enslave women further. And that's for a whole nother conversation. But what I will say is when you actually start to operate from your feminine, you actually start to live the life that it is you deserve. Not if you try a different strategy, not if you copy someone else's strategy, because I guarantee you they're operating in their masculine, because masculine is strategy. Not if you decide to say, screw it all, I'm done, because that's not feminine energy either. It is about like honoring your true flow and your true essence and your true natural state of being. And we are watching the collapse of it all. And I really started to notice it once I became a mom just 10 months ago, because I never was truly aware of it. Like I knew that it was a thing, but I was never truly aware of it because I wasn't walking in those shoes. I wasn't alongside these other women. But if the true boss babe hustle culture was meant to be what it is that we're trying to make it be, then everyone who's in that culture would be wildly successful and wildly fulfilled. But every boss babe that I know is deeply fucking unfulfilled, whether it's because they are putting their work over themselves or over their relationship or over their desire to just fucking disappear and let someone else run the fucking show, because it's not natural, right? It's not natural to operate in that flow. And again, this is not me saying that women shouldn't work and women shouldn't have businesses, but the way that we've been doing work and business does not honor our feminine essence. And that is where the disconnect is happening. If we could just like rebrand the boss babe culture into teaching women how to restfully work and restfully receive and restfully become rich as fuck, that is going to serve women as a whole so much better. But guess what? When that serves women as a whole so much better than the current system does, the current system crumbles, right? And the people at the top end up feeling it the most. But the people who are tied to it end up becoming so much more empowered and so much more creative and so much more productive to our collective as a whole, because they're operating from their own true essence. And again, I'm speaking specifically to women here because our natural state is to be in our feminine flow. And it is what it is. So coming at life and business and motherhood and womanhood through the lens of just how things have not truly been working in not just me, but like all the women that I speak to, work with, have friends with, our peers, are, people that I know through other people or whatever, we all are having the same kind of conversation in some way, shape, or form, right? It's, oh my gosh, motherhood is so hard because I'm trying to juggle being a business owner, or oh my God, being a business owner is so hard because I'm trying to juggle being a present partner and a present wife and like all these things, because this is exactly, if you're sitting here watching this and going, Alyssa, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Let's look at it through the lens of the masculine energy. The masculine energy, it is very hard to do the same fucking thing where be in your masculine energy, but also be in your feminine energy of nurturing and raising and flowing and ebbing and all these things that feminine energy is. You would have the same fucking hard time doing it if you were truly a masculine energetic being. And the law of gender states that there has to be a balance of both masculine and feminine in order for things to work. And that goes for every relationship, the relationship that you have with your business, with your partner, with money, with all these things. Like there has to be a flow of the masculine and the feminine. And when one thing is operating on like the seesaw isn't leveled, like if one person is operating more in their masculine than more in their feminine, that's where we see the disconnect, right? So like if we talk about it in terms of money, if you are a feminine being and you're trying to operate in your masculine and treat money like the feminine, there's going to be a disconnect because money is naturally masculine. Same thing with women. Like if we are trying to come at our business through the masculine lens, then we are going to have a disconnect because business is masculine. That doesn't mean that it's not meant for women, but the way that we're doing it and operating in it is where the disconnect is happening, and where we are seeing more and more people leave their businesses, burn their businesses down, all these other things, and declare like that they can't do it because they're burnt out, they're depressed, they're broke, they're stressed, they're anxious. It's because there isn't balance with it. Balance through the energy, balance through the essence is what I'm talking about, right? Of course, there's work-life balance, there's all those other balances, but the true one that's actually going to make or break what it is that you're doing is the balance that you have within the energy of gender and feminine and masculine, because that is truly what makes or breaks a business. And I personally have operated my business from the masculine up until fucking a year and a half ago, right? Whenever I found out I was pregnant, I was like, whoop, we got to redo how we're doing things, because this is not going to work, because this is way too much masculine energy in my business that's going to take away from me being a really present mom, which is a priority of mine. So instead of it being, you know, which we see a lot of the time too, we see a lot of women put their business on the back burner. We see a lot of women say, I'm going to pause my business so that I can take these next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to be present with my children, and my business is going to just get picked back up whenever they are, you know, whatever age you decide on. That's always the two extremes that we have. But I am choosing to come at this very differently, because I'm actually honoring not only my feminine energy, but my natural energy of doing things, right? Every coach that I've ever had has always told me that I operate like a bull in a china shop. Like, I'm very much so, like, I have an idea, implement it, we make it happen. I don't sit and wait and ponder and fucking make a schematics of how I plan on doing something, because number one, I trust myself wholeheartedly, and I know that every decision and desire that I have, it's because it's a part of my plan and what is actually meant for me. So I don't need to sit here and hem-haw back of like, should I, shouldn't I? If I feel like I should, then I'm going to. And every time that I do that, I'm like, I feel like a coach's not worst nightmare, but I can be challenging in this sense, because I don't wait. I don't sit and reflect. I'm very go, go, go. And taking that through the lens of like the feminine energy that I'm trying to not only create for myself, but also for others, especially inside of my new program, Restfully Rich, where I am teaching women how to operate in the same sense with their business, is you get to do it from a place that honors you, right? And what I've noticed with clients of mine too is I, you know, of course, am very much like, we're going to do life and business the way that you need life and business done. It can't be done how Julie, Sammy, Madison do it. It has to be done the way that it makes sense for you, or else it's not going to succeed. And so we've been doing it that way, right? Like, I always help coach my clients through that and to really reconnect them back with themselves, but also it's through the masculine lens. And so this new program, Restfully Rich, is so much more about doing things differently, rather than shedding all of the shit that we have taken with us this far in motherhood, businesshood, entrepreneurship, wifehood, womanhood, whatever, that really is masculine painted up in lipstick. Like, that's essentially what's been going on. And now that we are entering into a new year, we are entering into a new season, we are entering into a new just way of doing things. All of the shit that we've tried to make work and hasn't worked, we've got to stop beating our head with how to make it work and take a step back and go, okay, how can we do things differently? And it hasn't been modeled to us or shown to us. So there isn't really a good reference point, but the reference point is that it's a desire. Right? It is a desire to restfully receive. It is a desire to sit back and become rich as fuck by being the most present being that you can, because I will remind you, all of this shit in our reality is man-made, right? Like, all of this stuff is man-made. So if that means that someone else created this, then we have the power to recreate, right? We have the power to decide different and to choose different. And that is ultimately what we're doing here. And that is ultimately the goal inside of Restfully Rich. We are doing things so differently, and we are doing things so much more honoring ourselves as women, that if you have been someone who has hustled your ass off, who has done things for the sake of doing things for my business, and you are burnt the fuck out, you are stressed out, you are overwhelmed, you are anxious, hi, welcome. This space is for you because we are doing things different. We are not going to continue on this stupid fucking rat race until we reach some pie in the sky desire that someone else put there for us in order to actually start living for a living. And that is my promise to you. So if this resonates, please make sure you check out the link below so you can learn more about Restfully Rich. If you are ready to apply, if this really sparks something in you, the application is also below in the show notes. And stick around here. Make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're listening and watching and saving and sharing and all the things, because we are just getting started. I'll see you next time. Bye.